So I'm managing lots of screens here unexpectedly, so give me 1 second. There we go. All right, so when we think about where we're going at Turnitin, we have a really solid foundation to build on from all of these wonderful new capabilities that Philippe just discussed that we've released over the course of the last year. And so going forward, we have some really key areas we're focusing on. The first is a focus on learning, because at the end of the day, of course, that's what you're all here to do, is to help your students learn. And we want to do that not just by giving you more insights and more workflows, but we also want to give you better reporting. And by reporting, I actually mean the similarity report. We want to make it easier and more insightful for you to get information about integrity at your institutions. And alongside that, we want to make sure that we're helping you measure your actual outcomes and institutional goals by giving you more data. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're going to approach that over the course of the next year. First, as Philippe mentioned earlier, at Turnitin, we think about how to provide calm confidence to instructors and students when it comes to doing their work throughout the course of their career as a student or a teacher. And you also heard from Val and Arjun about our assessment with integrity workflow and the vision we have there. So to accomplish that, we really are focusing on learning. We're focusing on how to bring integrity into the student work more directly as they learn, as they do their work. We're finding ways to help instructors integrate integrity into more aspects of their assessment workflows and the other kinds of work they do with their students. And we're also helping them uphold the quality of the work that is done and ensure that complex forms of cheating are detected and do not compromise the overall integrity of student learning or the institution itself. One of the really exciting ways that we're focusing on learning is thinking about how we can bring integrity into student work. And the first way that we're doing that is through something called Draft Coach, which can be added on to TFS or Originality products. And what that does is it's actually bringing the similarity report right into a document where a student is working. So there's no more logging in, uploading a draft, waiting for the report, going back to your writing space. It all happens right in situ so that students can address any kind of mistakes they might have made early. Alongside the similarity report, we're also bringing new functionality in for students around citation checking. And what this does, again, still in the writing environment, is we have a checker that helps students see if they've forgotten a citation, if perhaps they have cited something in their work but not put it in the works cited, or vice versa. Again, to make sure that they're giving credit where credit is due and having the most possible integrity as they engage in academic discourse. Of course, we want to make sure that we can get this to as many students as possible. So we are releasing a Google Docs version of this in early 2021, which will be followed up by a Microsoft Word version later in the year. And once we get all of those insights to students, as soon as they're kind of providing more quality work to the instructor, we want to make sure that we can give similarity, integrity data to instructors in the most valuable way possible. Through some really significant work where we've partnered directly with instructors who use the similarity report every day and customers who use the report every day, we started to explore ways that we could continue to serve our instructor community and put that focus on learning. And so we found a lot of new exciting ways that we're going to add to the similarity report. We're going to make it more configurable. We're going to take that same citation tool and we're going to make it an instructor tool so that instructors can see what kind of similarity they're getting from their students. Is it from quoted material, from cited material, or is that material actually uncited and there's actually an issue that needs to be addressed with the student? Alongside that, we're also looking at ways to make it more consistent to apply integrity standards across an entire assignment or course. So we're going to make it easier to set up your settings, make it easy to understand what the impact of those settings are, make you more able to do configurability on the fly. And over time, we're looking to pair a lot of the exciting innovation we have in the machine learning side of the world with instructor intuition so that you're getting the best detection possible and having the easiest time generating the reports and assets and information that you need to work with students to help improve their work or work within your institution to understand any issues that are going on. Of course, when it comes to integrity in the instructor workflow, it really all comes down to integrations, because we know that you're doing a lot of different things in a lot of different areas. And so for us, partnership around integrity in every workflow is really key. And that's why we've been doing a ton of work this year around LMS integrations so that we can ensure we have the best workflow for you. Last year, we announced that we were pursuing some integrations using LTI 1.3, which is the new IMS standard for LMSs to do integrations. And we know that that has been a little bit of a bumpy road, but we've done a lot of work to try to smooth out the edges of LTI 1.3. We're working very closely with IMS to make sure that we can develop new workflows that allow for deeper integration, more information to pass between different providers and services, and also to make sure that you're getting the best experience no matter what kind of integration you have. So we're working very closely with Blackboard to kind of fill in the gaps between the 1.3 integration and the sort of modular integrations that you've probably been more used to over time. We're doing similar work with D2L and Moodle, and we're also looking at ways that we can integrate integrity into more aspects of the work that's done in those LMSs. And we're also working with other partners as well, but those are sort of the key areas we're focusing on. Oops, sorry about that. Going the wrong direction. And then finally, on sort of the LTI 1.3 front, we're also working with Canvas, of course, to ensure that you get the best possible experience there. And we're diving in deep with them on how to solve some of the big pain points around roster sync and integrity score pass back into Canvas. So it's taking some time to do that, but we're working closely with them to make sure that it happens. I want to highlight just a few other quick things that we're doing in integrations. First of all, we officially launched our Microsoft Teams integration earlier this year. So for those of you who are using Teams, you can get similarity reports directly in the platform. And then we're also looking with some LMSs around supporting different kinds of assignment types, which includes things like discussion boards, quizzes, and other areas where you might want to check similarity that are not sort of traditional essays. Philippe mentioned that we've made a lot of progression with Gradescope around COVID and supporting remote assessment. I think there's some really exciting new things coming in Gradescope, and a lot of these relate to the advanced marking workflows, or what was once called Magnolia, that you might be curious about. So some of the changes we've made in Gradescope to support more types of assessment include randomizing assessments, meaning you can have the same set of questions, but every student gets a unique copy of it. We've also started to integrate Turnitin similarity services into Gradescope. And perhaps one of the most exciting things that you can see here on the slide is that soon you'll actually be able to view long-form essays in Gradescope, comment on them with some really exciting new efficiencies around feedback, and also run that similarity report. This is really the foundation that we need in order to move on to those advanced workflows that some of you have been asking us about. So this is a really important step towards us doing that, and we're really making a lot of progress, and it will be out soon in 2021. Lastly, before I switch over to our demo, I do want to talk a little bit about data, because I know that that's so important to so many of us. It's really the way that you measure what's happening at your institution, if you're meeting your outcomes, and if you have any issues around integrity or assessment, the data is where you need to go. And so we're really committed to giving a more robust data solution to our instructors, our administrators, and maybe even one day to our students to help with their outcomes as well. Where we're starting this year is with a robust data exhaust so that you really own your own data. Our view is your data is yours. We are just sort of a helper, a supporter of that data. And so we're going to make it easy for you to extract that data from our system and combine it with all the other information you need to get the best possible insights. And over time, we'll be evolving that exhaust into a series of dashboards and other types of insights that you can get. But we want to start by making sure that you have full access to all of your data. And lastly, I know accessibility is so important, so much more important than ever with COVID and with remote or hybrid classrooms where students need more support than ever, and they may not be getting all of the support they need because they're not physically in a classroom. And so we're continuing to commit to an accessible future of all Turnitin products. And we're doing that by, of course, building our own awareness, making sure that we understand all the practices that we need to understand, focusing on both a web and mobile experiences that can be accessible, and ensuring that we're integrating assistive technologies into everything we do. So you'll be seeing more and more emphasis on that with us over the coming year and beyond.